Hey, greetings and welcome to Code Quickie. And today we're going to be looking at exploring a BigQuery public data set. And we're just going to be working with basically how we're going to get our data on BigQuery. Now, overview of BigQuery: when we're dealing with big data and the Google Cloud platform, or any data with the Google Cloud platform, the way that we usually get things done is with BigQuery. And with BigQuery, we're going to go over a basic intro of how to get your data set up on BigQuery and how to use BigQuery in a meaningful and simple way. So first things first, let us head over to Google Cloud Platform. And what we want to go ahead and do is we arrive at the home. First, if not, we're going to go ahead and choose our project here. I have a project here, GCP Data Certification. You could go ahead and create a new project if need be. And what you want to do is you want to scroll over to BigQuery. I have it overpinned. I have it pinned here. Usually with our APIs and the products, when you see something that we use it often, BigQuery is something that we want to use often, we want to go ahead and pin it. So I'll go ahead and pin it like so. So first way we're going to be working with BigQuery is we're going to go ahead and use data that is already on GCP. So what we want to do is we want to go over here to add data and we want to explore the public data set. What we're going to do is download USA name. We're going to download a data set for the USA names of babies from the US Social Security Administration. Right? So all we had to do was click add data, type in the name or the words that we're looking for in the search bar. Once your data set comes up, you click on it and you go ahead and view data set. Now here is the data set we're working with, and here is the table, and here are the USA names that we have available. Right? That's our data set. This is our project, and these are the tables in here. Right, so we can see the schema. Basically, these are all the columns. So yeah, when we look at this, and this is a SQL table, right? BigQuery is SQL, right? We take a look at the schema and we see it reflect. It gives us the rows. It kind of IDs them out for us. That's nice, and it gives us the state, gender, year, right? And we can use SQL in order to query this table. Let's take an example. Right, so if we want to go ahead and get the name and gender of babies in the data set, we can do it like so. We can use it with this query. We place in our query editor, as you see here. We go ahead and run the query, and it shows you how long it will take to run, as well as how much data is processed as well. And as you can see here from this query, we see the name, we see the gender, and the total amount of times we have that data. From 1910 to 2013, how many babies are given the name James? Right, so that's how to work with data already available on GCP. That's one of the many ways. There's several ways, but this is one of the many ways. Next thing we're going to want to go ahead and do is go ahead and get our own data onto GCP, something that we really need to support. So the first way that we're going to, so what we need when we're working with BigQuery is always we're going to need a data set, right? So when we create a data set, this is very familiar to a database and SQL languages such as Postgres, MySQL. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and create a data set first and give it the United States default location. Right, go ahead and leave all the values alone as correlated from this table, and now we have our data set. Next thing we want to go ahead and do is we want to download this file, baby name. So I'm going to paste, so it's going to be pasted in the description below. We're going to go ahead and download this zip file, and we're going to be using year of birth 2014. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead, unzip this. Once I have it downloaded, or once you guys have it downloaded as well, and what we want to do is we're going to be working with this year of 2014. And we can see this is a CSV, right? So we have the name, then we have the gender, and then we have the amount of times it actually appears for that year. So how many people are given the name Emma in the year 2014? It was 2,941. So now what I'm going to have to do is we're going to go into our table and data set, and we're going to go ahead and create our table, right? These are the options we're going to choose. We're going to do upload. This is upload from local storage, and we're going to choose the option 2014 as our file. And the file type is CSV. CSV stands for comma separated values. Very common file type when you're dealing with data. And our destination, and we're going to give the table name as given here. We are going to go ahead and give it named 2014. And then the schema, edit as text, we're going to go ahead and copy and paste this, right? So our schema, basically that schema we saw before. The other table is their name, which represents a string, which can come out as a string value. The gender should come out as a string value, and the count, how many times are people given with that name, comes in as an integer value. Very important in that you know your castings, right? Because when you're dealing with data and you're creating data, especially using SQL, if you don't have the right cast or you don't have the right type for your column, then some SQL queries won't work as intended. So go ahead and create the table like so. Now this takes Now, since this is a small table, it doesn't take too long. But usually, when you're dealing with big data and BigQuery, it will take longer. Now, so you get to see a preview of your table. Very nice, very nice. So, when I increase it, you get to see more names. Definitely, if you're having kids, definitely want to take a look at this. So now, what I want to go ahead and do is create the table. But before that, I want to show you another way you could go ahead and make a data set in Google Cloud. So what we can also do is we head over to Cloud Shell, click on this Cloud Shell here. So actually take a while. So or not. And what you can go ahead and do is we can use the command line in order to make another data set, right? So BQ stands for BigQuery, location US, it's the default, but you can leave it as a flag if need be. And we can go ahead and make this data request, make this data set, right? When we make a GC, and behind all of these, when we're doing these, is actually a REST query. So you can actually go ahead and create a data set in the command line that's actually a REST API. Okay, GCP API, REST API, and same thing in the cloud. When we're actually doing this through a Cloud Shell, we're actually making a REST API call. All the tools that Google gives you, SDKs, whether it's through the UI, whether it's through the Cloud Shell, or whether it's through your local computer, you're using behind it in its library at its core, a REST API to an endpoint in order to get things done. Go ahead and authorize as needed. That's interesting. And yeah, maybe because I had to go ahead and authorize. But now my data set is created. I could close the Cloud Shell and we could see if it could go ahead and refresh. Unfortunately, we don't have the refresh button here on Google Cloud. If it's streaming data, it doesn't know how to update its UI or something. Now we hope we get to see, we get to see our movies data set made as well. So going back to the names data set, what we want to go ahead and do is use this query Run it. And we can see names. We can see the names. We did a little query and we wanted only males. We could go ahead and do female instead too. Right, and we can see the people given the most names in the year of 2014. So that's the basics. That's really the basics and introduction into using BigQuery. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And all resources are going to be posted in the video description link below.